The reality is, I think both candidates are trash. So but I am going to vote in November, and I'm going to vote my best interest, and I'm going to vote who I think, can preserve democracy. So if I think both candidates are trash, and I don't feel like, endorsing one, would you rather me endorse an individual or endorse the fact that, hey, we need to go out here and protect democracy?
The pressure campaign to get Charlamagne the God to endorse Biden continues, with the ladies of The View this time around pushing him to support who he feels is, as you just heard, a trash candidate. Now, when asked if he thinks Biden will eke out a win anyway, here's how he responded.
Well, and I'm curious at this juncture, 6 months out, who do you think wins?
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, it's a toss-up at this point. I really don't know. I think the person who goes out there and probably energizes their base the best at this point. And when you look at somebody like President Biden, it feels like his base is pretty pissed off at him for a number of reasons.
Help him out.
Well, no, look, I actually
help him out by doing what?
Help him out by doing what? That's what Charlamagne said in response to Sonny Hostin, who was like, help him out, go out there, campaign for him, get people, enthusiastic about voting for Biden. I feel like that might be Biden's job, no? I mean, maybe I'm being unfair to Biden. What do you think, Sean?
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with his approach to Biden. I mean, it's pretty clear from that video, but I don't know what he's been saying up to this point. Yeah, look, he's under no obligation to go and campaign for literally anyone. I don't think anyone is. But the thing is, like, the terms he put it in was that he wants to differentiate between endorsing a candidate or supporting a candidate and endorsing protecting democracy, which I assume he means having Biden win instead of Trump, right?
Well, hold that thought, because to me, it's pretty damn obvious that he's gonna vote for Biden. He said something similar like what you're about to hear before. So let's hear it.
You endorsed Joe Biden back in 2020, but this time around you say you're not going to endorse anybody. Charlamagne, now is not the time, in my opinion, to sit this one out.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I never said I was sitting it out.
What you gonna do?
I'm definitely voting in November, but what I like to focus on is issues, not individuals. Like, when
but
you
why not endorse?
Huh?
Why not endorse Biden?
Because if I'm sitting here telling my listeners that, you have somebody out there who is a threat to democracy, you have somebody out there who said they want to, suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. You saw this person, try to lead an attempted coup of this country. And I'm telling people that this guy is a threat to democracy. Have you ever read Project 25? There's only 2 candidates out there. So if I'm saying that about this individual, the choice is clear, right?
So look, this is now like the second or third time we're covering Charlamagne's comments. To me, it's very obvious he's gonna vote for Biden. He's just drawing a distinction between voting for Biden and enthusiastically endorsing him versus quietly voting for him, but refusing to enthusiastically endorse him, right? I can't believe that hardcore vote blue no matter who Democrats are mad at him for saying he's gonna vote for Biden. It's not enough. Like, he has to go out of his way to vociferously endorse a candidate who he's not excited about, doesn't like, but is specifically voting for because he wants to vote against the other guy. Okay, no candidate is entitled to anything from voters, whether the voters are celebrities, whether the voters are just ordinary working class people who are private citizens. No one is entitled, no single candidate is entitled to a damn thing. And I can't stand that sense of entitlement. Like this befuddlement that we're seeing Charlamagne met with, because he's voting for Biden, but isn't doing it with a massive smile on his face while screaming from the rooftops that he loves Biden and everyone else should vote for him. Again, Biden's not entitled to that. And if you want to get voters enthused to vote for Biden, you should focus on the Biden campaign and what they're doing to get voters enthusiastic. But more importantly, listen, I think a lot of Democratic voters, John, including young people who really turned out to get Biden elected in 2020, have been telling Biden what they want, and Biden has ignored them. Is that Charlamagne's fault? I just think it's all ridiculous.
No.
Yeah, that's the right answer,
right?
That is the right answer.
And also for Sonny to be like, so why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? It just doesn't look good in the moment. It doesn't look good. So as I said, he's not obligated to do literally anything. He's not obligated to say anything. But the thing for me is the way he describes not being enthusiastic, I totally get. And I think for a lot of people, that clearly is how they feel. The thing that confused me about him is that he then goes on to paint the election in very stark, consequential terms. So like, I get a person who's like, man, they both kind of suck and it doesn't seem like it's gonna matter which wins. I get them being apathetic more than he's he's saying I'm not enthusiastic, which I get, he's clearly not enthusiastic. But then he's talking about it as if it really does matter who wins, which is not consistent with apathy. Like, I get that you're more worried about Trump getting elected than you are enthusiastic about Biden getting elected. Like, same, I feel the same way. But at that point, when he's like, I'm not gonna say who I'm voting for, but I'm gonna tell them that there's a bad candidate and it's clearly him. At that point, it kind of feels like we're all adults. Just say who you're voting for. Again, he's not obligated to do any of this. He's not obligated to talk about politics on a show at all if he doesn't want to. I find that part a bit confusing.
I guess he could be more straightforward and say, I really don't like Biden and I would prefer a different Democratic candidate, but I'm gonna go ahead and vote for Biden because I really hate Trump, but I think Biden sucks and I don't want to embarrass myself by being an enthusiastic endorser of someone who is gonna be disappointing for people who follow the work I do, who trust in what I have to say. I totally understand where he's coming from.
What you just said, that was good.
Yeah, I think that's a more effective message. Yeah, 100. Okay, so that could be clearer, and so I get where you're coming from. Now, rapper Cardi B has decided to take a completely different route. It does not appear that she's going to vote for either candidate. And this is based on a Rolling Stone interview that she did last week. And I thought her comments were interesting. Now, she had supported Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary in 2020. And then when Biden became the nominee, she ended up endorsing him. Not this time around, though. So here's what she had to say about Biden during her interview with Rolling Stone. Quote, I feel like people got betrayed. And there is some truth behind that. I mean, one of the things that Biden promised was a voting rights bill. He didn't even fight for it. There was no real debate or discussion about it in Congress. And he didn't push for a real debate or discussion about it in Congress. And keep in mind that that was one of the issues that really fueled the enthusiasm among voters in Georgia to ensure that they elected 2 Democratic senators in those 2 runoff Senate races in that state. And so once they have control of the Senate and they have a Democratic president who's promising them a voting rights bill and he doesn't deliver on that, it's not gonna bode well for Biden. So I understand where she's coming from when she says that. The rapper also told Rolling Stone that she didn't support funding Ukraine or Israel in their efforts against Russia or Hamas. Quote, America don't pay for endless wars for countries that have been going through stuff for a very long time. There's countries where kids are getting killed every single day. But because the US won't benefit from that country, they won't help. Spoiler alert, we're not benefiting from Israel either. I don't like that America has this superhero cape on. We never did things to be superheroes. We did things for our own convenience. And quote, it's just like, damn, y'all not caring about nobody. Then it really gets me upset that there is solutions to fix it. There is a solution. I know there's a solution because you're spending billions of dollars on any effing thing. So she's a lot more angry and non-committal when it comes to Biden in this general election. And so I know there's a ton of people watching the show right now who disagree with her perspective, but we live in a democracy and we should have the right to air our grievances against even candidates in our own party. And we should have the right to vote for whoever we want to vote for or endorse whoever we want to endorse without having elite members of that party breathing down our necks or judging us based on what we feel is the right thing to do during the election. Any final words, Sean?
Just vote for who I tell you to. I think it's much simpler. It'll save a lot of energy and it's better for me.
Why don't you help him? Why don't you help him?
Yeah. Cardi B, why don't you help him?
Cardi B does not care. Like she's not like some, like wilting flower who can't handle the heat. Like I would love to see that same exchange on The View with Cardi B. That might be entertaining.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.